Hello dear fans. Who is Vasco da Gama? The navigator from Portugal was the first to establish regular communication between Europe and India. However, the voyage was not easy, and finally Portugal, and therefore Europe, was entrenched in the land of spices only after Vasco da Gama's second voyage. Vasco da Gama is the most famous navigator from Portugal, who for the first time paved the sea route to India from Europe. By the beginning of the organization of his first expedition, the Portuguese had already explored an outlet to the Indian Ocean through the southern tip of Africa, but they could not go further. Vasco da Gama was the first to swim to the Indian coast, thereby he paved the way for Eastern spices and other goods of Eastern countries, initiating their colonization by Europeans. First trip to India. The future navigator was born between 1460 and 1469 in the city of Sines. Vasco da Gama came from a well-known noble family and grew up, as they would say now, in a wealthy family. His father served as a judge, ruler of two cities at once, Sines and Silves. From his youth, Vasco da Gama was engaged in naval affairs and managed to distinguish himself in hostilities against the French. This is partly why King Manuel I invited him to pave the way across the Indian Ocean to India, which was then considered a country rich in spices and gold. In 1497, on the 7th of July, a sailor and a squadron, 4 ships, set sail from the port of Lisbon. By November, he had already rounded the African Cape of Good Hope. In the parking lot, the captain had to flood a vehicle that had become unusable. There were 3 ships left. Further stop in the port of Mozambique. Here the sailors almost died. A local sheikh, from the Arabs, tried to attack the infidels. Similarly, we met the sailors in another port, Mombasa. However, for the third time, the Portuguese were lucky. The ruler of the third city, Malindi, turned out to be a ruler who needed allies and was at enmity with the sheiks of Mozambique and Mombasa. The sailors were given provisions and provided a pilot who was already sailing to India. In the Indian city of Calicut, Vasco da Gama got on May 28, 1498. At first, he was greeted with honors. However, according to slander of the Arabs, who saw competitors in Europeans, the Portuguese began to be treated worse and worse. As a result, he was forced to go home. Second journey. This time, the king has already sent 20 ships, which were headed by Vasco da Gama. The expedition sailed in 1502, February 10. Along the way, the sailor destroyed Arab ships, acting decisively, brutally. Arriving in Calicut, present-day Calcutta, the Portuguese ordered the shelling of the city. The local ruler fled. His attempt to defeat Vasco da Gama's fleet with the help of the Arabs failed. As a result of the second voyage, Vasco da Gama successfully returned home, loaded with spices and other goods from the east. In the future, the brave Portuguese gave recommendations to his monarch on how best to colonize India. For a while, Portugal was the complete master of the Indian Ocean. However, its possessions were subsequently lost, and Great Britain took possession of India. Thanks for watching.